just gotta listen.
Real talk that we talk about.
You just gotta listen.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to your favorite podcast, Truth Talks. I am your host, Krayzie Bone.
I'm the co-host, Keith G.
Yes, indeed. We back at you. And right now, we're going to dive right into our topic at hand for this evening. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And we're going to talk about where we are in time, meaning in Bible prophecy time.
Yeah.
Where we are with everything going on. You know what I'm saying? We spoke about this before, but we're going to revisit it. You know what I'm saying? And look at some of the signs that we should be looking for.
Yeah.
For these last days. You're going to talk about the last days again. We're going to talk about what's going on right now. And then we will see how it all relates to Bible prophecy.
And I'm glad you say again, too. And ain't never know enough again. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? It is way out as that may sound the way I put it, but that's ain't no, because this is something that you're going to, as much as you do read the word of the Lord, you're going to learn something every time you read it again.
Yeah, I mean, just with anything, if you're trying to learn something, if you're trying to understand something, you're going to keep doing it. That's why we went to school. That's why we have class. That's why they kept testing us, talking to us about the same thing in class all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's basically what it is, man. You just got to do the research. Now, I understand a lot of people ain't going to may be confused about some of the things that we may say on here. You know what I'm saying? But if you need clarification of any kind, y'all could be happy to contact us on our IG, which is at Truth Talks 99.
Yeah.
Or you can send us your questions at truthtalksonlytruth@gmail.com. To get at us, man.
That's right. That's right.
And also, most of the information I'm going to read today, some of the information I'm going to read today is taken from the JW.org website, also from the encyclopedia, and from other reputable sources. And all of this information can be proven, researched, if you like to. Just don't take our word like we always tell you. Look it up for yourself. Research it for yourself. So
always.
Jumping right in, I want to start off asking a question. And that question is time running out for us, for mankind? Is time running out for us? Now, if you're one of those people that puts all their faith in man and in their technologies and in their philosophies, then your answer to that question is probably going to be no. Man has it all under control. We got this.
Right.
The government gonna protect us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's probably your answer. But if you fully believe in God, then you truthfully know the answer to that question is yes. Mankind is definitely running out of time.
Oh, yeah.
We are in the last of the last days.
Yep.
Seriously.
And even not to pause so much, but
Go ahead.
a lot of people will try to make the last days look like something stupid or say something because they say, man, since I was a kid, way out you talking about in the last days, nigga, when I was 20 years old and all that kind of situation. But man, look, we should be happy that God is merciful enough to let time tick as long as it has been ticking. You know what I'm saying? To really find out who he is. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? To accept his kindness, and you know what I'm saying? It's we'll get to that though.
No, I'm glad you brought that up because we're gonna be talking about that, about how people, what they're gonna say, even when they see this show. Oh man, people been saying that for years.
Man.
We gonna understand why. You know what I'm saying? We gonna definitely tackle that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But now under the question is time running out for mankind? Another question is presented. And that one says, do the big problems facing the human race have a deeper meaning than most people realize? You know what I'm saying? And I would have to say, yes. That's actually what this whole podcast is going to be about today. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people see everything that's going on in the world and they say, just like you said, they say, oh, well, this kind of stuff has been happening for years. There's always been crime and violence, and poverty, and it's nothing new. You know what I'm saying? Wars, and they write it off just as, they're just immune to it now.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They're immune to it. They think this is just how it's going to be. They're going to be here. They're going to live their life. They're going to see all this happen. And it's going to be the same way when they die. So the truth is, like we say this all the time, the truth is we are witnessing Bible prophecy. It is being revealed to us on a global scale.
Yeah.
Right now. What we are seeing on the news today, these wars, the pandemics, the food shortages, the earthquakes, all at the same time.
Yeah.
We're witnessing them on a global scale. God is showing us firsthand that these signs are taking place. Remember I said the revelation, not the revolution. The revelation is being televised. You better pay attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pay close attention.
And it really is being set up for that, you know. It's a lot of that's why everything on entertainment is what it is. Entertainment is one of the highest, well, I believe it is the highest grossing thing. You'd have to probably check it, in all entertainment and facets together, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Because to vie for your attention, that's how important this is. So what we talking about right here is something that's not in your conversation other than if you're talking to somebody that is, you know, talking about, you know, what God got them talking about, you know what I'm saying, no matter where they talking about it at. But
True.
This is something that they like, man, we trying to get their attention over here on something silly. You know what I'm saying? Well, look, cut all that out because if you understand this, you're going to become a better person. Look, if you can learn to become better, you're going to do better.
Exactly.
And this is something that they've been preventing from, to introduce you to your who and your true and living God is, and to take his likeness on. You know what I'm saying? Then we won't have to even be in these positions like that. But we not paying attention to revelation is what gets us in these kind of things because we ain't paying attention to what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Real truth talks. Truth talks. So one thing I want to, you know, say is, you know, the last days didn't just start yesterday. For a lot of people that don't know or that's wondering, when did this, we're going to talk about, you know, where the Bible indicates all this started. When God said the last days, he wasn't talking about literal days. You know, like a couple of days, you know, we got last days, we got about a week left. No, he was speaking of a time period that we would go through that would identify us as living in the last days. And we are now living in those times. You know what I'm saying? And believe it or not, the Bible actually identifies the actual year when this time period of the last days actually began. A lot of people don't even know that. You know what I'm saying? That, and that year was actually 1914. You say, well, how do you know that? Let's talk about it for a minute. Definitely. Okay, so I'm going to read an article, but first I'm going to read the scripture that the paragraph is tied to. And that scripture is, it's crazy because I just used this and said this in one of my songs the other night when I was recording. Right. It says, nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Matthew 24:7. Then it says, what indicates that we today are living in the last days? It says, the Bible describes events and conditions that mark this significant time period. The sign is a composite one made up of many evidences. Thus, its fulfillment requires that all aspects of the sign be clearly evidenced during one generation. The various aspects of the sign are recorded at Matthew chapters 24, 25, Mark 13, and Luke 21. There are further details at 2 Timothy 3, 1 through 5, 2 Peter 3, 3 and 4, and Revelation 6, 1 through 8. By way of illustration, we will consider a few outstanding portions of the sign. So, yeah, basically it's saying that this sign of the last days is composite one made up of many evidences, meaning it would be many signs taking place at one time in one generation.
Yeah, it was. And the thing of this thing, and it, just like what you're saying, you know, the signs of the time is something that God did give to us so that we wouldn't know the exact day, because nobody knows the day the Lord coming back. You know what I'm saying? But to know, hey, I'm looking at these things, I'm paying attention to it, because to not look at these things and just live your life oblivious to what's going on. Now, that's what we being held accountable for. You know what I'm saying? Not accepting Christ. You know what I'm saying? As God said to do. So to ignore that kind of thing, to ignore revelation, if we don't get one thing, we don't have another. There's no way possible.
Exactly.
So if people just can't get, it's something, it's really, it's hard to even say it, because I'm trying to explain it like that, because that's how far it's trying to be taken away, because this is something that's so much in people's waste trash basket, or on your last list of what you want to do. But looking at these times is very important, because that's something that's going to be detrimental to how you living, to how your family's living. It's not really so much about, I've got the finance straight. No, of course we got to have that in order. We got to take care of ourselves and all that kind of thing. We want to have fun, this and that, but it's very, very serious about the things that are going to happen here. You know what I'm saying? It's not. I always thought Revelation, the end times in the last days, which are leading to what leaves us from this place, it's going to be from the wrath of something else, but this from the wrath of God.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So Revelation, I would pay attention to it. Read it. If you read it for yourself, like my man say, always study, man.
And another thing I want to bring out before I continue reading, this article was written somewhere back in like 1970s.
Right.
But it's cool though. It's cool that this is an old article, because these were the things that were taking place then.
Right.
So if we fast forward to our day, how much worse has it gotten? It has increased. So all those people that saying, "Oh, it's been going on," true, it's been going on, but it has increased.
Oh yeah.
Greatly.
Oh yeah.
And that's what it said, and that's what it said in the Bible, that it would happen.
Yeah.
It would increase, and it has increased. Yeah, crime has been around forever.
Yeah.
But today, it's on a whole nother level. The stuff I'm seeing outside on the news, I'm like, yeah, son, like, oh yeah, we there.
Like the enemy,
we there.
He running out of time. So like you saying, just goes right with it. Ain't nothing changed, but it got speeded up faster. Disrespect faster, murder faster. Everything is
because the devil know his time is short.
Yeah.
So he acting a fool right now.
Yeah.
Everything is full throttle. Everything is full throttle stuff.
It is.
That's why things change so drastically within a 10-year span. Because he like, look, I ain't got time for you. Look,
speed it up,
put it on the news and say we doing this now. They'll get used to it.
Yep.
You know, and that's what he's doing.
And he run them folks to run it anyway. But you know, by not looking at these things, by having society and having the everyday person, the everyday Joe is chasing bread, right? Exactly. The everyday female, she chasing bread, or chasing a nigga that's chasing bread, or a nigga chasing a female, whatever it is, you in a scramble. The average parents, they ain't even can't really, because of the economy, they out there chasing bread too.
Exactly.
They not at being home with their kids, if it even is both parents at the house, which is mostly ain't.
True.
So ain't no weaving time that they leave somebody to even put something like this in their head.
That's true.
That's the bad part about it, because this is the actual best thing to have thoughts about what God thinking about towards life. That's the best things to have in their head, but shit, they done took it from us. That's why we at war right now, because all these people want to pretend to be.
True. So we're going to go down to the next scripture. It says, nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. This is what it says. War has marred life on earth for thousands of years. International wars and wars within nations have been fought. But beginning in 1914, the First World War was fought. This was not merely a conflict between two armies on the battlefield. For the first time, all the major powers were at war. Entire nations, including civilian populations, were mobilized to support the war effort. It estimated that by the end of the war, 93% of the population of the world was involved. Then it says, as foretold at Revelation 6:4, peace was taken away from the earth. Thus the world has continued to be in a state of upheaval ever since 1914. World War II was fought from 1939 to 1945. According to retired Admiral Jean Larac, As of 1982, there had been another 270 wars since 1945. Upwards of 100 million persons have been slaughtered in warfare during this century. Also, according to the 1982 edition of the World Military and Social Expenditures, there were in that year 100 million people engaged directly or indirectly in military activities. Is more required in order to fulfill the aspect of the prophecy. There are tens of thousands of nuclear weapons deployed for immediate use. Leading scientists have said that if the nations were to use even a fraction of their nuclear arsenals, civilization and possibly the entire human species would be destroyed. But that is not the outcome to which Bible prophecy points. So stopping there. So talking about, it's crazy. It's like I said, this article was written some years ago.
Yeah.
And they're talking about the threat of nuclear arsenals and stuff like that. And Putin just threatened and said, if any of you on the outside come try to interfere with what I'm doing, I'm going nuclear. Them was his exact words.
Yeah.
I'll go nuclear if any one of y'all get in my business.
Yeah.
Bro, that's why they ain't moved.
Yeah.
Because they know this nigga's crazy enough to do it.
Yeah, it's some
like for real.
And it's wild.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, bro, it's
wild.
crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it's basically breaking down here, bro. Like I said, it hasn't gotten any better. This article was written. This article was written then.
World Wars. I mean, you talking about looking at pictures of that, hearing about it. World War I. It sounds funny because you ain't there, but if you slay it slow, like the whole world went to war. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much the whole world was at war. So you talking about something that's different. But
there were wars on the war. Yeah, there were wars before 1914. Yes, there were wars, and there were bloody wars. But like it stated, 1914 marked a special time. There was never a war to where every nation on the earth was fighting each other, meaning everybody was in on it.
Yeah, everybody's doing something.
It wasn't one nation that was not fighting. You know what I'm saying? And World War I was the first bloodiest war ever recorded in history. Why? Because they now had these automatic weapons and tanks and all this new technology to where they could just send bombs overnight. You didn't have to run up on somebody and stick them with a sword.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No muskets.
Or load your musket. Hide behind a tree while you're loading your musket. You know what I'm saying? You press a little button, you send a missile over there, bam.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was the bloodiest war. And World War II was even bloodier. And from that point, it went from bad to worse.
And
this is from bad to worse. That's when the last days began, 1914. It's not just a couple of days, y'all. It ain't nothing a couple of days with God.
Nah, never that. You know what I'm saying? But this here, the last days, man, I really do hope that people pay attention to this more than anything else. I ain't saying don't do what else that you do or anything like that. You got your stuff that you do all day. I ain't tripping on nobody. I do too. But at least fit this in somewhere, fitting it in sounds even more a worse word for it. Get it into your lifestyle, because this is something that is about you. It's actually about you. I'm glad you brought that out, bro, because people don't know everything that's going on right now. It's Bible prophecy, but you're right. It's about each and every one of us, whether we want to believe it or be included in it or not. Yeah, you are. Word up. like for real. See, we watching this physical war right now. Everybody's able to turn on their TV and see it, but the war that's even realer than that is right here with everybody. Exactly. See, 22 right here is a war because it's being fought for you. Exactly. It's being fought for real. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what these are those last days. You know what I'm saying? Just like the old people be saying, but I don't know what it is or whatever it is that you choose to believe. Take this seriously. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? Take this seriously. So we're gonna move on to the next one and breeze through some of these. Bro, I keep hitting this computer like it's an iPad, like trying to. I was about to trip. I was like, you got a touch screen? Trying to scroll up, man.
Okay, so it says there will be food shortages in one place after another. Matthew 24:7. It says there have been many famines in human history. To what extent has the 20th century been afflicted by them? World War led to widespread starvation in Europe and Asia. Africa has been stricken by drought, resulting in extensive food shortages. Late in 1980, the Food and Agriculture Organization estimated that 450 million people were hungry to the point of starvation, and up to 1 billion did not have enough to eat. Of these, some 40 million a year actually die. In some years, as many as 50 million because of the food shortage. Is anything different about these food shortages? Revelation 6:6 indicated that a small quantity of such staples as wheat or barley would be selling for a day's wage, a denarius. But that supplies of such items as olive oil and wine used by people who are well-to-do would not be harmed. So apparently, many would suffer shortage while others could still get what they wanted. This situation is no longer local, but global. 1981, the New York Times reported, the improvement of living standards and the growing demand for food around the world have put pressure on food prices, making it harder for the poorest countries to import their food needs. In many lands, the production of food, even with the aid of modern science, has not been able to keep pace with the increase in total population. Modern food experts see no real solution to the problem. So, these food shortages, no matter how you look at it, no matter how you look at what the problem is, it's always man to blame. Because war raises the prices on everything. On gas prices, food prices, just like it's about to do now. Even though this war has nothing to do with America, but they telling us everything is about to go sky high. The gas, but but the gas over here, bruh, a drive-by shooting happened over here. They raised the gas,
and that's real, man.
They always looking for reason to raise the gas. You know what I'm saying? Like so it's like war causes that, and then. You can't forget about the people, the countries that have the money and have the food to make sure everybody is fed, but they choose not to do so because they want to hold their position of power.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So any way it goes, any starvation of anybody starving here on this earth, it's because of man.
Oh, yeah, it's plenty enough to go around.
It ain't because of God. God gave us everything we need. It's because man is being greedy.
And once again, too, the voice that they listening to, they father, you know what I'm saying? The spirit and the prince of this type of world, you know what I'm saying? That's motivating these men. That's the reason why these leaders and all these people doing what they doing. That's what they led by. He got them thinking they finna be able to go over on some kind of, and some of them don't even know. Some of them may not even know what they doing. You know what I'm saying? That's just how he liked to, because he always used to come in Herod, all those guys, you know what I'm saying, back, he influenced them through their mind and stuff. He been here for a very long time. He done been doing the same thing. That's why with all this power and these men with different countries, they want to, I got weapons. I got this. Like dudes going on things saying, I got weapons that you ain't seen, Putin or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, holla about that. You know what I'm saying? When you talking about what God thinking about this. That's you're talking about men who ain't thinking about what God talking about, because you can't make no statement like that. You know what I'm saying? If you know God got all power, you talking about some weapons that the man done made. You know what I'm saying? So that's what everybody thinking about theyself, these countries right now. Like you say, it's food enough to go around for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
When God makes something, he don't make it wrong. You know what I mean? So I just seen the other day, and this is the last thing I'll say on that. The other day I seen an orange fall off outside. It was a little squirrel eating on it. When I came outside the other time, it was a little bird eating on it. And then, of course, some ants probably ate it because it's sweet and sticky. I'm like, look at how God do. He ain't even tripping. They ain't got no store, but like 4-5 animals and probably ate off this thing for the end.
It's even, it's even a scripture that says, if God make sure he feeds the animals.
Yeah.
Aren't you?
And they ain't got no stuff.
Basically saying, aren't you more important than the, you know what I'm saying, like than the animals, like because we are, you know what I'm saying, his greatest creation.
And that's what he said, I love you more. How much more will I
Exactly.
treat you? You know what I'm saying?
So that's real. So like I said, that's man.
But that's
Moving on.
last thing I'll say on that too. So that's what I'm saying. When Satan got us going against what God say, that
Yeah.
I'll take care of you. We harboring, we hoarding,
Definitely.
we fighting over gold, diamonds, whatever resources, oil that they could find in other countries, and trying to really go punk somebody who ain't got enough to defend themselves, and they made themselves a little sanction and a U.S. whatever, the UN, to, you know what I'm saying, act like this is cool so they can really discuss who's gonna be broke or who ain't gonna be broke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the game that they think they playing.
That's crazy. Moving on. It says there will be great earthquakes. Luke 21:11. It is true that there were major quakes in centuries past. Furthermore, with their sensitive equipment, scientists now detect more than 1 million quakes a year. But no special instruments are needed for people to know when there is a great earthquake. Has there actually been a significant number of major earthquakes since 1914? With data obtained from the National Geophysical Data Center in Boulder, Colorado, supplemented by a number of standard reference works, a tabulation was made in 1984 that included only earthquakes that measured 7.5 on the Richter scale, or that resulted in destruction of $5 million U.S. or more in property, or that caused 100 or more deaths. It was calculated that there had been 856 of such earthquakes during the 2,000 years before 1914. The same tabulation showed that in just 69 years following 1914, there were 605 of such quakes. That means, in comparison with the previous 2,000 years, the average per year has been 20 times as great since 1914. So that paragraph is just to basically show you all, yes, there has been earthquakes for centuries. As a matter of fact, it was a earthquake happened after Jesus died on the when they, you know,
he was on Calvary
after they killed him. You know what I'm saying? The earthquake happened. So yes, it's been earthquakes. It's been they've always been happening, but look how they've increased. We don't feel them all the time here, but look how they've increased. Just by itself, the scientists have equipment that detects them. So even though we don't feel them, they're always happening.
Yeah.
Even though we don't feel them. So this is another Bible prophecy that's active, and people are like, oh, you know, this stuff ain't none of this stuff happen.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
And
yeah.
now you've been blinded by the world.
And
Period.
the world is loud too, so I can't even blame nobody. The good Lord said himself, if I didn't shorten the days, wouldn't no flesh make it. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't, and forgive me for paraphrasing it wrong, but you know what I'm saying? Pretty much, nobody would make it. So it's not about nobody is the best standard for this, because it's about his saving grace. You know what I'm saying? Through his son, for him to be able to know us. That's how we do this thing. So not paying attention to that, like all these things are going to happen. And it's good to see the sign of the time and everything. But when he come back, what he trying to holler about you? Like, hey, I had some nice clothes. I knew somebody. He like, yo, I sent my son down there, man, and he did shed his blood for y'all. That blood right there is what qualifies us to stand in front of God in peace. You know what I'm saying? That's just take it from what I'm saying. You know, but if not, go your own situation too, because that's what we always invite you to do. Study and believe in your own thing. You know what I'm saying? I never cram nothing I have down nobody's thing. But we got people listening to us, and we have to tell you the right stuff. Exactly. So when we go around here, the end times is coming. And we are living in those last days right now. We don't know when the good Lord going to come back and do what he do. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? In fact, Jesus said, I don't know the time. Only the Father know that.
Exactly.
That's what he said.
The next one. In one place after another, pestilences. At the close of the First World War, the Spanish flu swept around the globe, claiming upwards of 20 million lives at a rate unparalleled in history of disease. Despite advances in medical science, a heavy toll is exacted every year by cancer, heart disease, numerous sexually transmitted diseases, multiple sclerosis, malaria, river blindness, whatever the hell, I don't know what that is.
River blindness.
And Chagas disease, I think. Okay, so yeah, so I mean, this is basically saying that, you know what I'm saying, that these pandemics or whatever have been around,
Yeah.
and we just ain't paid attention to the amount of them. And this is what people got. This is what Americans got to understand. Just because it's not happening in America, everything don't have to happen in America for you to believe it.
That's right. Yeah.
Like, you
That
know
it's
what I'm
been
saying?
around. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah.
Bible prophecies can take place all over the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? America ain't that special.
Right.
Like, don't even get it twisted. Like, for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, we're gonna move to the next one. It says, increased lawlessness accompanied by a cooling off of love on the part of the greater number. Now, this is interesting right here because we see this every single day.
Every day.
It says, a leading criminologist says, the one thing that hits you in the eye when you look at crime on the world scale is a pervasive and persistent increase everywhere. Such exceptions as there are stand out in splendid isolation and may soon be swamped in the rising tide. The Growth of Crime, New York, 1977. The increase is real. It is not merely a matter of better reporting. It is true. Past generations had criminals too, but never before has crime been as pervasive as it is now. Persons who are up in years know that from personal experience. Remember, this article is old, and crime was bad then.
You talking about 77?
If we say it's now, come on, bro. It says the lawlessness referred to in the prophecy includes contempt for the known laws of God, a placing of self instead of God at the center of one's life. As a result of this attitude, divorce rates are skyrocketing. Sex outside of marriage and homosexuality are widely accepted, and tens of millions of abortions are performed every year. Such lawlessness is associated in Matthew 24:12 with their philosophies instead of holding to the Bible contributes toward a loveless world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So basically what this is saying is exactly what you need to hear.
We're seeing all of this right now.
Like we're seeing all of this.
Accept it.
And just like we said, the devil know his time is short, so he has to turn up. Just like we said, just keeping it real. Like, I'm not judging nobody. I'm not judging nobody. But the way they try to, it's to each his own. But the way they try to push homosexuality to straight men,
Yeah, man.
like, you know what I'm saying, it's almost like a violation, because it's like, you know what I'm saying, like, bro, it's like just 10, 15 years ago, it wasn't like that.
Nah,
You know what I'm saying?
not at all.
If you notice, the devil is like, yo, he's stepping up.
Yep.
And it's not just with that, it's with everything. Bruh, you heard what they said, sex outside of marriage, and you know what I'm saying? Just like,
Yeah, everything. But you're
like,
right. He just
divorce
that's
rates,
been pushed up.
You know what I'm saying? If you think, if you listen to how people speak about marriage, now, marriage is something that is an arrangement that God created himself.
Yeah.
When he put Adam and Eve together, he created that arrangement, and that arrangement was holy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But now, if you look how people look at it now, it's just, okay, I'm about to get married. Oh no, I don't like the way she hang the towels up. We got to get divorced.
Yeah.
Oh man, you don't like to cook or clean? Oh, we got to get divorced. People get divorced over the silliest things these days, bro.
Yeah.
Like over things that can be worked out.
Yep.
If you really like, but this world spirit promotes.
Yeah. All of that.
It promotes independent so hard that women feel like, basically, I don't need a man to do nothing. That we've basically broken down and trashed the whole arrangement that God put here for us.
Oh, yeah.
And it ain't women's fault. I'm just saying, like, dudes is a lot to blame for that too.
Yeah, we put it in. We definitely put it in gear for that.
They are a lot to blame for.
You 100% right that we went all out of bounds with what God have arranged, and it's accepted in the society, and not just accepted but pushed into the society. You know, I know what you're saying, like with like the homosexual cats. That right there ain't fresh, because we got kids watching this thing, and you got dudes dressing up like that. Do what you gonna do. That's you. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing your thing. But when you influence young people as celebrities to do this kind of thing, they know what they're doing by doing this to our men, because it demasculizes a man. You know what I'm saying? It make a man not want to. You going against what God say by even starting that kind of stuff up to be. And they want to. They're going to influence them in their mind and tell them it's something else. That they got the right to do it. See how they mix it up with us? Like they got the rights like we do. They say we got the color of our skin like this. Yeah, that's a choice. But they put a buffer in the same. Try to put us in the same bath together like that.
And one thing I want to say also is when you look at even when you look at the children's movies and the cartoons, how they slotted in this. Now, like you said, to each his own. But like, I don't even think it's appropriate when they put those kind of scenes in kids' movies when it's between a man and a woman.
Yeah.
Like, what does anything sexual, why do you have to, a kid is going to laugh at kid stuff all day long. Why do you have to slide any grown-up content into their movies? Because you're trying to program them now.
Yeah.
You're trying to program.
But look how they programmed us, too. I'm glad you even said what you said earlier, too, because let's go to the heterosexual part now. You know what I'm saying? Because since we've been kids, it's been shows on TV that's showing mans and women, you know what I'm saying, in sexual kind of ways, whether we sneaking watching Benny Hill or that little squiggly channel, you know what I'm saying, or on TV or something,
Preview.
or whatever innuendos they putting up on, you know, what's going on. This is back in the early 80s, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed.
So this is the programming that is going on, but what it's saying is this is okay. Because see, the people that in these movies that we watching or TV shows and whatever, the young people, they was not married. These people just doing what they do. So they already painting the picture that, oh, that's casual sex. That's okay. Even to this day, we don't look at when we see our people, boy, you getting some, that's what your uncles will say. You know what I'm saying? It's promoted like how we supposed to be. Yo, this is a marriage. This is a sacred thing, what God say. And this starts with a lot of the trouble. This is the start of the family.
But let me tell you how they started to sneak it in though back then, and then we'll move on. Yeah. They started to sneak it on us back in the day with just men living with a woman before they married and everything, and homosexuality.
Yeah.
If you remember a TV show called Three's Company.
Yeah.
When Jack Tripper, he wasn't gay, but he had to act like he was gay in order to live in the house with two women.
Right.
Because but it was like that's how they slowly but subtly like slid it in on us.
Yeah.
And then when the TV show Soap came out, you know, Billy Crystal, he was just all out with it then. You know what I'm saying? But they slowly but surely brought it into our lives.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then this last few decades, centuries, like we said, the devil has.
Yeah.
Now it's almost it got a lot of God's people, like not just God's people, but regular people like this now. Oh, wait, we can't even, but we ain't saying nothing bad about it though. Like we just saying like we don't.
You can't say
we just
nothing.
saying we don't agree with it. That's all we saying. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? But like, like we said, we follow God first.
That's why I
don't care what nobody says.
Can't nobody throw us off because we on our own thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's the best thing what we saying. And the things that we saying ain't nothing derogatory. You know what I'm saying? We say all these things is saying definitely for your education and for you to look at things like that. Not just for your own satisfaction. That's what the problem with this world is. A lot of self-satisfaction is being first place. Like you were saying a little bit of that earlier, instead of doing like, hey, look here, what God got me to think for my family today?
Exactly.
What should I be doing today? Versus, I'm not happy today, and so I'm finna lead these people. Well, that ain't how. I got something signed up more, and I should even looked at that in my marriage when I was married before. You know what I'm saying? Love to do it again. You know what I mean? But it should be looked at more as like, you know what? no matter what happens in it. And I was talking with her earlier today about it. And it's a trip because I'm saying no matter what happens, if somebody cheat or whatever it is, that don't mean give me a pass to go cheat. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I got to pack with God still. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If I should look at it like that, if I'm looking at it like that, that'd be correctly. So it's like still no matter what. So even in this world, I got to conduct myself how God say conduct yourself. You know what I mean? So if I got a problem with somebody, if I handle it like how he say handle it, it's going to get handled right. Even if it's a thing to go to war. But if I handle like myself handle it, we go into war. That's why these niggas got tanks parked outside right now.
Exactly.
Because they go into war. They got egos. And when a man is able to power something and riches, you know what I'm saying? The enemy loves to use with men. These men have these things. The more they got, it's not, God don't not like nobody being rich. That's not what I'm saying. When you have that much what they have, if you're not close to God, you're going to get close to the enemy because he wants you to do what he wants you to do. And when you got that kind of money and that power, it blinds you.
And that's why that scripture in the Bible says, and that a lot of people misunderstand, it turns them away when it says it will be easier to
have a camel go through the eye of a needle
than for a rich man
to get into the kingdom of
God. And it wasn't saying that a rich man can't make it. It's just saying that money usually has you more occupied than God does.
And actually the eye of needle, the actual place, and camels used to have to go through it. But what they would have to do is it's a narrow thing. So they would have to get down and they would have to like almost crawl through it. So you couldn't even bring stuff through. You know what I'm saying? So you have to leave a lot of the stuff to go through there. So it's saying it's that hard to go through there.
That's great. I got to research that because I never heard that like that. But it makes sense though. Yeah. Bro, I was actually thinking, bro.
I thought the eye of a needle myself, bro.
I'm like, sitting here like,
because my grandma had that thread. I was like, hey man,
all right, come on, like moving on, bro. That's what I thought though, for real. It says, men become faint out of fear and expectation of the things coming upon the inhabited earth. Luke 21, 25 and 26. The fact is that today the biggest single emotion which dominates our lives is fear, said U.S. News and World Report, October 11th, 1965. Back then, what side?
Yeah.
It ain't never been good around here, ain't it?
Yeah.
All right. Never before has mankind been as fearful as at present, reported by the German magazine Horzo, November 25th, June 20th, 1980. Now, like, they're talking about never has mankind been fearful, and this is 1980. Many factors contribute to this global atmosphere of fear. Violent crime, unemployment, economic instability, because so many nations are hopelessly in debt, worldwide pollution of the environment, lack of strong and loving family ties, and the overwhelming feeling that mankind is in imminent danger of nuclear annihilation. Man, this is so on point to be so old.
Yeah.
That just goes to let you know the Bible is not out of date.
Oh, never.
Luke 21:25 mentions signs in sun, moon, and stars, and roaring of the seas in connection with the anguish felt by the nations. The rising of the sun often causes not happy anticipation, but fear of what the day may bring. When the moon and stars shine, fear of crime makes people stay behind locked doors. In the 20th century, but not before, planes and missiles have been used to send destruction streaking down from the heavens. Submarines carrying deadly loads of missiles prowl the seas. Just one submarine being equipped to annihilate 160 cities. No wonder the nations are in anguish. So he's basically saying, man, that we've been living in fear because of the way that man has been carrying themselves. Like, and this is something for people to look at that's, you know what I'm saying, that has something to say about our episode about voting. You know what I'm saying? This lets you know right now that these people are only human. They're just like me and you.
Yeah.
That they go to these schools and these prestigious schools and they get this human, they accumulate all this human philosophy.
Yeah.
But have you heard what God said about their wisdom? What he called their wisdom? He called their wisdom foolishness.
Yeah.
No matter how smart, no matter, you can go to the most prestigious college and get all this knowledge.
That's right.
But if you're not putting that knowledge towards him, he looking at you, oh, here's another foolish one.
He said man's wisdom is foolishness to God.
It's foolishness.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? So it's like yeah, bro, it's like and like I said, like this is 19.
That's the 80s right there. You're talking about, and then talking about fear. But look what perpetuates fear too. Every day they got a bunch of channels. When we was kids, they had 2 through 13 or whatever it is, and in the morning they was gonna show everything that was terrible to you. They call it news. They pay these people to put on suits and dress up, and they're gonna tell you a bunch of terrible stuff all in a row. You know what I'm saying? Then they're gonna tell you the weather that's not correct either. You know what I'm saying? They still get a job. You know what I mean? But they're gonna do that because that propaganda has been sent to them, as we know. You know what I mean? To get people to get fear, because God says, now this is what he say. He say fear is not even a part of me. Basically, who's taught y'all fear? I never give you no spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. That's what he say. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So fear is taught by the enemy to give to these people in these places, and that's what they doing. Every day they're going to teach you the same thing to be scared of, whether it's gas, this war. Hell, I read about these things. I'm not surprised the war's going on. It's going to get worse than this. I'm not surprised about any of these things that's happening. You know what I'm saying? When I see kids stand up to their mother talking like they birthed them, you know what I'm saying? Shit's going down. Excuse my language. You know what I mean? When I see people will serve and do what we'll do in communities like right now, we ain't forced to live the way we have to live no more. We doing some scandalous things, not just even our color people, but all of us. We on some scandalous things right now just to get that snap. And that's what, I'm not downing nobody, because it's a professional spirit that's trying for that, to have you to be that way. You know what I'm saying? So,
but you got to break that. You got to break it. You know what I'm saying? And we say, you know what I'm saying, we ain't knocking you, but that don't mean it's right.
Word,
like,
yeah, man.
Real talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you ain't got to answer to us. We can sit up here and judge you all day and say, hey, man, you cool, do what you do. That don't mean you cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I
participated in this. He's participated in this of terribleness. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely ain't scot free. I ain't on that kind of thing. He ain't neither. It's just we saying niggas care. If the good Lord gonna tell us something, we gotta share with folk.
Exactly. And speaking of that, we come right up on this one. It says, the good news of the kingdom preached in all the inhabited earth for a witness. Matthew 24:14. The message that will be preached is that God's kingdom in the hands of Jesus Christ has begun to rule in heavens. That soon it will put an end to the entire wicked system of things, that under its rule, mankind will be brought to perfection, and earth will become a paradise. That good news is being preached today in over 200 lands and island groups to the most distant parts of the earth. Then it says, Jehovah's Witnesses devote hundreds of millions of hours to this activity each year, making repeated house-to-house visits so that everyone possible is given the opportunity to hear. So,
hey, that is you talking about the good news right there, and that is the good news, G. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, because like it's the most important message you need to hear. I don't care, like none of this, like more than any song, more than any TV show you watch, more than any podcast you watch, more than anything. This is the message you need. Because this is the message that's going to save your life.
Period.
It ain't nothing else you doing.
Period.
Going to save you, but what God is telling you to do.
Yep, and that's it.
Period.
We talked about the blood before. We was on a rooftop. We was at and it was some other cat I didn't even know before, and he got gathered around. We was rooftop at T Radio V. Remember we was up there doing our thing?
Yeah.
And we got to start talking about the blood of Christ. I didn't even know dude. You know what I'm saying? But he was saying how important that kind of thing was, because to not know that is the thing that the enemy wants to keep us from. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the way that God looks at us, through his lenses like that. I look at you like that through the world. That's your sin. I look through here like the blood of Christ. Now I don't see anything no more. That's you righteous because of him. You know what I'm saying? That's why we righteous, not because of us. So with that, please, G, understand that. Read for yourself. Read it and pray first. Pray, Lord, bless me to understand words I don't, and all this kind of thing. Ain't no pictures in it, so it's kind of boring. I understand that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, hey, do your thing. They got it on audio too, so I listen to it on the audio a lot now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they do.
So yeah.
So okay, so here's another one that's that's very deep, and I hope y'all understand where we are in time, because this right here tells you how much time we actually have left, and you better pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
It says, to what do all these events of the last days point? It says, when you see these things occurring, know that the kingdom of God is near, that is the time when it will destroy the present wicked world, and itself will take full charge of earth's affairs. Truly I say to you, this generation will by no means pass away until all these things occur. The generation that was alive at the beginning of the fulfillment of the sign in 1914 is now well along in years. The time remaining must be very short. World conditions give every indication that this is the case. So, basically, you know how we look at things and we be like, oh, you know, like the generation before us, that generation, you know what I'm saying? Before.
Yeah, yeah.
God is looking at all of us from 1914 until now. We're all the same generation. We're all the same generation. And he's saying that some of those people that were alive when the last days started in 1914, you know, they're old now. Some of those people are going to be alive. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be alive when the end comes. Those people are old. So that means that it will really be a thief that thief in the night could come in the morning.
Yo.
That thief in the night could come right now while we here talking right now.
At any time, like we say earlier, at any time you say, that's why he did say, I'm coming like a thief in the night. Yeah, correct.
Exactly. At any time, bro. Like, so if you think about it, it's really not that much time to play around no more.
Mm-mm.
Bro, it really ain't. Like, if you think about it, it really ain't that much time to play around.
And actually, your last day here is the last day here. It may not be the last days that we're here, you know what I'm saying, because it's going down. But I mean, your day, you ain't got tomorrow sometimes to be like, hey, you know what, I'm gonna check that out tomorrow. 'Cause you gone and you don't have a choice no more. It's a whole different thing. That's what this choice is here for. This is something you do while you alive and kicking. This the choice I made. I'm doing this. I'm doing this way. It's one of the two, and it's simple. It really ain't even drawing blood. It ain't like let me tell you like this here. God tell his son, you gonna leave here, I'm gonna go down there and let men that we created put their hands on me. You know what I'm saying? Kill me. You know what I'm saying? For me trying to go and help them, and I help create y'all. Okay, let me go do that, and I ain't even do nothing. Then for some folks to not believe that, God don't hold that into nothing that he take into his mind like, all right, that's cool. That's what I'm saying. These signs of the times we're being blinded because it's not a hard task to accept what God has already set out for us. He want nothing but good things for us. He ain't never even, the first time that he set man and woman up, he put them in a garden of Eden, a paradise, my dude. You know what I'm saying?
No worries.
You know how bad she had to be? You talking about eating pomegranates and fruits, lions is kicking it with you. You ain't even tripping because ain't no fear.
Just naked.
Yeah. Sitting there with your woman.
I ain't mean to make it.
No, but I'm just saying. Look, he said it though.
They was,
he the one that said it. See,
yeah.
He say, "Hey, name these animals, and you know what? Be fruitful and multiply." That's what he told them to.
Exactly.
So he invented that, and he wanted it to be like that.
Right, because he ain't say nothing about putting no clothes on.
Earth perverted that. See,
exactly.
That was man's and woman is what God said.
The devil perverted it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
to be fruitful and multiply is what only a man and a woman can do. Now, other people can adopt a baby, but you can't create that. Exactly. So you have to gotta look at that and say, something must be not right about what I'm doing. Because
and check it out. And not only is that just with humans. That's with animals too.
Yeah. Sure is.
That's why it was. That's why he told him to go get two
of everything,
every kind.
Put it back in that exactly.
And female.
And see, and everything wants to be perverted. That's why, you know what I'm saying, with the people that choose that lifestyle or is put into this by the spirit of that, because that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's something that's trying to pervert the relationship what God got with man and woman. There's no greater thing than that. Just like with water, ain't no better drink than that. I like beer, I like Gatorade and all that, but ain't no drink. Be thirsty, my dude. Drink you some, you know what I'm saying? Water don't nothing replenish you like that. But everything is vied for like it does. So they trying to pervert everything. You know what I'm saying? So they want you to have something else. And that's not the way, that's why it doesn't work right now. The family is the key to a lot of these things. If I break up the family, ain't no key. If you get the men to be liking the men and the women mad as hell and doing their own thing and the kid don't know what to do, ain't no more family. So who gonna sit at the dinner table? Who's praying? Who's talking to God on and talking about, hey, let's go down here to the church or wherever we're gonna go to worship the Lord today, whatever day you do it on, you know what I'm saying? But that's shattered. They only think the preacher want the money, you know what I'm saying? And that's why we living in these last days, because some of them do want the money only.
Yes, they do. To float through these next two, the next one it says, why do Jehovah's Witnesses say that it was 1914 that the last days began? It says the year 1914 is marked by Bible prophecy. For details regarding the chronology, see pages. The correctness of the date is shown by the fact that world conditions foretold to mark this time period have come to pass since 1914, exactly as foretold. The facts set out above illustrates this. Then it says, how do secular historians view the year 1914? Looking back from the vantage point of the present, we see clearly today that the outbreak of World War I ushered in a 20th century times of trouble. In the expressive term of the British historian Arnold Toynbee, from which our civilization has by no means yet emerged. Directly or indirectly, all the convulsions of the last half century stem back to 1914. People of the World War II generation, my generation, will also think of their conflict as the great modern watershed of change. We should be allowed our vanity, our personal rendezvous with history. But we should know that in social terms, a far more decisive change came with World War I. It was then that the political and social systems, centuries in the building, came apart, sometimes in a matter of weeks, and others were permanently transformed. It was World War I that the age-old certainties were lost. World War II continued, enlarged, and affirmed this change. In social terms, World War II was the last battle of World War I. The last paragraph says, half a century has gone by, yet the mark of that tragedy of the Great War, World War I, which started in 1914, left on the body and soul and the nations, has not faded. The physical and moral magnitude of this ordeal was such that nothing left was the same before. Society in its entirety, systems of government, national borders, laws, armed forces, interstate relations, but also ideologies, family life, fortune, positions, personal relations, everything was changed from the top to bottom. Humanity finally lost its balance, never to recover it to this day. General Charles de Gaulle speaking in 1968.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically telling you, bro, that even though the people out, these people that been out here, these philosophers, even though they don't acknowledge all these things happening because of Bible prophecy, they're too admitting that something happened in that year that changed everything. They're all admitting that something happened in 1914 that set us on this path. And that's Bible prophecy and the beginning of the last days. That's what happened. You know what I'm saying? You can go back and do all the research you want. You know what I'm saying? But again, these, you know, like the world is not going to tell you the truth about God. You have to go to the source to get the truth about God.
Hey, that's real. You know, when Jesus asked Peter, a lot of people say I'm this, I'm that. He said, "Who you say I am?" And just to back up what you're saying, he said, "Man, he said you the Christ." And he's what he told him. He said, "Flesh and blood didn't reveal that to you." You know what I'm saying? My Father had to reveal that to you.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people are not going. A lot of people have a bad relationship with God because of the way a lot of people introduce them to Him too, that they think is in a position to introduce them to Him. Ain't nobody really got to even introduce Him to Him but Him. He's actually the best introducer in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because He gonna become your friend and your God, your king, but all that. But He gonna be your friend too. That's the dopest part about Him. He's God, but at the same time, He your friend. You know what I mean? But back to this revelation, this fear that they got us coming to the ends.
No, but no, just wanted to say, you know, so with everything going on, man, you know, all of this has to do with Bible prophecy. We didn't really get into the whole Russia-Ukraine thing, but I think we'll tackle that on the very next episode because it is something relevant about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, you know, we'll get into the king of the north and the king of the south. Take y'all a little bit deeper as to what's going on and, you know, what's transpiring right now.
Yeah.
But, man, you know, we thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Truth Talks. You know, whenever we get a chance to get at y'all with some of this information, we love it. You know what I'm saying?
All day.
Man, thank y'all for your subscriptions, man. If you want to get in contact with us, you can hit us up at Truth Talks 99 on IG.
Yeah.
Or you can email us at truthtalksonlytruth@gmail.com. And man, once again, thank y'all for tuning in, man.
Yeah.
And until the next time, just remember, the truth is always talking.
Shut up and listen.
That's right. Peace.
Talk to us, let the truth talk, truth talk.
It's always talking.
You just gotta listen.